Hi everybody, welcome back to Tailored Style. It's Joseph here on another video, and today we're going to be talking about how to make your hair healthier or how to get healthy hair. I've come up with 5 tips that I think are key essentials in having healthy hair, and I hope that you guys find this video useful, insightful, and that it helps you on your journey to finding healthy hair. Alright, so let's get started. So number 1, I'm going to say is hair maintenance. Your first task in trying to maintain your hair or get healthy hair is going to be finding someone to properly care for your hair texture, your type of hair that you have, and even the type of processes that you're going to be doing to your hair, whether that be colored, whether you be a natural, whether you have a very coily or natural curl pattern to your hair, and you need to find somebody that specializes in that and is able to accommodate your hair's needs. I always say the first thing when looking for a hairstylist is going to be knowledge, number 1. You're going to want to look for a length of clientele history, and you might be asking, how do I do that? How do I see if they have returning clients? Watch them for a while. Notice, go on their social media, look at pictures. If you see the same client popping up over and over and over again, then you're going to automatically find out that they have a history of their clientele. Because many hairstylists do all kinds of people, but the question becomes is, are they going to be able to come back? Are they a client that you are maintaining for long periods of time? Number 2 is going to be knowledge. They should be knowledgeable. When you ask a question, you should be able to get it answered. Questions should not be a hard topic to discuss with your hairstylist. They should be common, they should be frequent, and you should always leave feeling like you got the answer that you needed for the problem that you have. Next one is going to be just vibes. Not everybody is the stylist for you, just like I always tell my clients, it's a relationship. It needs to be mutually beneficial to you, and it needs to be mutually beneficial to me. If we just don't vibe, or we're not on the same page as far as stylist to client, I always let people know maybe we're just not a good fit and there's somebody better suited out there to meet your needs. So number 1 is hair maintenance and finding a hairstylist to properly care for your hair texture, and ultimately your hair goals to having healthy hair. Number 2 is going to be shampoos and conditioners. This one's always a very hard topic just because of the price points of certain professional grade shampoos and conditioners. But like I tell all my clients in my chair, it makes no sense to even spend money getting your hair cut, getting it colored, getting it serviced in any capacity, and not maintain it at home, because ultimately you're doing no good for the services that you're coming into the salon to get professionally. Shampoos and conditioners are the key essentials, the most important part. It's not what happens at the chair, it's what happens at the bowl, is what I always tell everyone, and even so forth and so on at home and what you're using. Now, a lot of times, you know, they're keep talking about Pantene and Garnier and Nexus, and there's so many different other brands that you can use over the counter. And the hard thing becomes ultimately is trying to explain to clients why they're bad. A lot of the over-the-counter products are going to have a high amount of wax derivatives, of even petroleum derivatives, and molecularly their molecule is so large that it's not going to penetrate your hair shaft. The cuticle layer is kind of like this on your hair. A healthy cuticle is going to lay down flat. When it goes up, it gives a little bit of room for stuff to get in. And if the molecular level is this big and your opening is this small, none of that on that product is getting in your hair. But what happens is because they put such a high amount of wax and petroleum derivatives, you get this super shiny, slick feeling to your hair that makes you think that it's healthy, and ultimately on the outside it's just all artificial. And over time you're building this barricade on your hair shaft where nothing can penetrate it. So ultimately what I see is people start to come in and it's almost like their hair is dying from the inside out. There's all this product buildup, there's all these wax products, and if you live in an area that has hard water with all the minerals, you have all that buildup as well, and now your hair is just completely impenetrable to any good product. And if you notice, a good hairstylist, or most salons that you go to, if you're just getting your regular maintenance, they're going to use what we call a clarifying or a detox shampoo, which have all the things in it that we tell you not to have in your shampoos at home, but it's a very strong stripping shampoo, almost the equivalent of detergent is what I call it. That's going to remove all of those minerals, that's going to remove all of that product buildup, so that way when we put a conditioner on your hair that is supposed to make your hair feel amazing and go in and treat your hair, it actually does. Because if we use it on top of all those products buildup, then it's doing nothing. Ultimately, that's why most people come to salon like, I don't know how you get my hair to feel so good. Most of the time it's because we're stripping it of all of that bad stuff on there when we put in our really, really good products. So that's why you want to use really high quality products as far as shampoos and conditioners go. You don't want to use over the counter. You want to use those products that are more expensive because they do not have all those wax buildups. They don't have all that petroleum in them, and they're actually going to do what they say they do. And also, if you are not going to the salon on an average maintenance, you do need to be clarifying your hair at least once a week. And you can buy clarifying shampoos. They're not only for hairstylists, but you can buy detox shampoos and strip your hair of all that stuff. But you don't need to do it super often. You just want to do it enough to where you're not going to get that buildup in your hair, because naturally it's going to happen. Dirt, oil, grease, you're going to have that buildup, and you're going to have to get in there and really clean it sometimes. Number 3 is going to be leave-in treatments. Think of it this way. Even after you take a shower, you're going to get out the shower, you're going to dry off, and what do we still do? We put on some type of moisturizer, whether it be a body lotion, some type of form of lotion. We put on some type of moisture. Your hair level is at between a 6.6 and about a 7.7 on the pH scale. Water is going to be a little bit higher. Water is, I think, level 7. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that water is the last thing to touch your hair. Even if your conditioner is a really low pH acidic level, the last thing that touches your hair is going to be a higher alkaline, because water is higher in alkaline. And because it is, it's going to raise the cuticle layer. So even after you put that conditioner on, and it's going to lower your pH, it's going to lower that cuticle, it's going to be all nice and shiny, the last thing that touches it is going to be water, and that's going to raise it a little bit. So even after that, you want to go back in with a leave-in treatment that you don't have to rinse out, with a really low acidic level that's going to come back in and help close that cuticle even more. It's going to help fill in moisture, shine, all that stuff. And leave-in treatments are just, like I said, it's like putting on lotion. You're not going to walk around ashy, and you might be clean. Your hair might be clean, but there's no moisture to it. So you want to make sure that your hair still has moisture even afterwards, which is why we always recommend a leave-in treatment. If you're going to a salon or a stylist that's not recommending some type of leave-in treatment, and let's also clarify the fact that leave-in treatments are not the same as a heat protectant. You can have a heat protectant in a leave-in treatment, but heat protectants themselves for styling purposes is for styling. Treatments and leave-in conditioners are going to be actually for treating. So those are two different things. When we ask you what you use on your hair, we're not talking about styling. We're not talking about hairsprays, oils, stuff like that. We're talking about like treatment. What are you doing to treat your hair at home to maintain what we're doing at the salon? And that's why leave-in treatments are so vitally important, especially for color processed hair, especially for any type of chemical alteration to your hair. If you're not using some form of a leave-in treatment on your hair, then that also is contributing to the damage of your hair. Number 4 is going to be trims. On average, you should be getting a haircut about every 6 to 8 weeks. Your hair grows about a half an inch to an inch, depending on your hair texture and your genetics, every 6 to 8 weeks, and you need to be trimming regularly. The longer you wait, normally the worse it ends up being, and the misconception is, I don't want to cut my hair off all the time because I'm trying to let it grow. But if you're getting split ends in the meantime, which split ends are caused by friction, then those split ends are going to keep rising up the hair shaft. They only stop if you get them cut. I don't care what Olaplex, I don't care what treatment you do. If your hair is split, it is split. It is damaged, and the only way it's going to get better is if you cut it off. So if you're not getting regular trims, then you are not going to see healthy hair. You're not going to see growth, and you're not going to see retention of growth. Your hair's growing regardless. The fact that the root grows, that means it's growing. The question becomes, are you seeing your retention of length on the bottom parts? And if you're not trimming, most likely you're not seeing your retention of length, which is why you feel like it's not growing. To make it grow, you have to let it go. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Trims are a necessity. That is not an option. You need to find a stylist that you trust to cut your hair, that can do it the way that it needs to be done, because trims are a necessity to having healthy hair. Point, period. Next, number 5 is going to be styling tips. Even after you've done your hair maintenance, even after you've got a great shampoo and conditioner, even after you're using an amazing leave-in treatment, even after you're getting your trims regularly, the last thing I'm going to say is going to be styling tips. I think this is a really big one for people at home, because what I see at home is we do, for example, I'll do someone's hair white, silver, which is honestly on a chemical scale is past the Richter scale of damage. It's past the Richter scale of maintenance. It is so harsh on your hair to be platinum blonde in any capacity. Some people's hair more than other, but nonetheless, it is a very challenging thing to do on your hair and to maintain the health of your hair being platinum. And then I see them come into their appointment with a wet hair, damp hair, any type of moisture in their hair, all tied up, ratted up because they just put it up after coming out the shower. That is so bad for your hair. There's breakage around here. You're constantly seeing breakage at your mid shaft. This is probably the part where your ponytail is so tight that it's literally snapping your hair in half. And that's why you're seeing breakage down here. You're seeing loss of hair up here, all those little baby's hairs. That's not new growth, that's breakage, because you're pulling this back so tight. And so I want to recommend to people, change up your ponytail. You should not have a ponytail at the same time. I have certain clients I've seen with literally indents in their hair from where they have their ponytail. You should not be doing the same place for your ponytail every time. You should give your hair moments to breathe. You should never, in the history of life, put your hair up wet. It is at its most fragile state when it's wet, especially if you were color treated or any type of chemical. You should not be roughing up your hair at night. It should be tight and neat, some capacity at night, whether that's in a ponytail. And whether that's in a braid or a twist, if your hair is running around at night, you're causing friction and you're also adding to your split ends. You do not need to be flat ironing and using heat on your hair if your hair is extremely dirty, oily, or greasy, because all you're doing is burning and kicking that onto your hair shaft, which again is not helping you at all. Dry shampoo is for a couple of days, not weeks. And so all of that, you should not be using super high heat temperatures. If you have fine hair, you should not be going above 380. If you have thick hair, you should be around 410. And even at the coarsest level, I think you should leave anything above 410 degrees to your hairstylist in the proper way that we know how to use heat like that without damaging your curl pattern, your texture, or burning your hair. Those are my styling tips that I see the worst traits of. Brushing your hair on a regular is very important. You don't want to use a small comb to brush your hair. You want to use an actual brush. You want to get in there. You want to start at the ends and work your way up and be gentle. And remember that if you are raking, then you're going to be losing hair. You're going to be breaking. You're going to be messing your hair up. And your hair does need to be brushed on a daily basis. You should not be going weeks and weeks without brushing your hair. Your hair sheds hair every day. And if you don't brush it, it gets caught up in there and then you're going to end up with a tangled mess, which happens a lot to curly haired people. You'll notice that if they don't brush their hair or comb their hair regularly, then they end up with these knotted messes in here because all that hair that's like shedding cannot go anywhere. It's just stuck in their hair. So that is my biggest 5 tips that I could say would contribute to healthy hair. That is the easiest way I know how to explain it. I hope you guys really like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have challenges with your hair that I did not answer, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to get those answered for you. As always, thank you guys for watching and I hope that you have an amazing day and an amazing start to your week. It's Monday, so whenever you watch this video, I hope that you're having an amazing day and an amazing week. And I will see you guys on the next one. Love you all. Bye, guys.